Okay, year 11, back to the tectonics questions, and we've got a 6-marker here. Describe the likely worldwide effects of a supervolcano eruption. Okay, firstly, I've only got to describe it, so that's cool. Just got to sort of say what's going to happen. What I must do, though, is think about the worldwide effects. Okay, so for a supervolcano, what we're thinking about is climate change, particularly all the ash in the atmosphere. So, something along the lines of, due to the incredible amount of ash erupted, this will travel around the world and stop the sunlight coming through. It's also the sulfur dioxide that's a problem. So, in addition, sulfur dioxide will be released, and it causes the sun's energy to be reflected back into space. So these two processes will stop the atmosphere warming at its normal rate, and will lead to a volcanic winter. Okay, with snow and ice covering large parts of the world, including Europe and Asia. For up to 5 years. So this global cooling will stop crops being grown, which will lead to no crops equals no food, people. No more cornflakes. Okay, so it will lead to huge numbers of people starving. Okay, the other effect, of course, is the rainforests. So the rainforests will also suffer due to global cooling or due to the volcanic winter, and these ecosystems will collapse. Okay, you can also put there will be a global economic crisis due to lack of trade. Will be a global economic crisis as trade and transport are disrupted. Okay, so I've just described them. I've described that there's going to be this global warming. Okay, I may well have explained a tiny bit, just to set the scene, but I've described how the volcanic winter leads to crops being grown, no crops leads to people starving. Okay, and I've focused in and said, you know, globally, because it's Europe and Asia. Alright, and then also we've put in about the rainforest, so that's another part of the world are going to suffer. So I've really gone with the worldwide effects of the eruption. Alright, didn't have to worry about a case study, but obviously I'm using my knowledge that I learned from Yellowstone volcano. Alright, this last one. So study figure 2 on the on the insert. Here is figure 2. Okay, we've got some pictures of some cows, okay, with some mountains in the background. We've got a picture of a hydroelectric powered dam. We've got what is probably a mine or a quarry, and then we've got some people in snowy conditions again up the mountains. Alright, so those are our pictures. So it says, with the help of figure 2 and a case study, alright, of a fold mountain range, describe how people, and again it's a describe, use fold mountains. Alright, so it's going to be the Alps in Europe as my case study. I'm not going to write the full answer down now, guys, but obviously my points are going to be that we use them for tourism, and picture 4 is my link there of the people doing sort of snow sports, shall we say. Okay, and in the Alps, okay, it's something like 600 million people go there for tourism. Alright, just check that number. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but that's what you need to do. So the point is that the Alps are used for tourism, which links to picture 4. Okay, or sorry, it was picture D. So that was picture D. Okay, another point, HEP. Okay, and that was from picture B. Alright, so I'd refer, picture B shows a hydroelectric powered dam, and we've got in Switzerland, okay, 60% of their electricity comes from a HEP, or comes from many HEP. It would have to be one big dam. Alright, I'm not having to explain, I'm just describing, you know, that the conditions are right in the Alps. High, steep valleys, fast flowing water, perfect for HEP. That's why people use it. Picture A, we've got farming. Okay, so picture A, farming. So in the Alps we've got goats and sheep up in the mountainous area. Alright, and then in the flat areas, so valley floor, we've got the cows, and we've got pasture for growing, and we've got vineyards, haven't we? Okay, and a bit of grape juice for the grown-ups. Alright, so that would be picture A. Alright, so we've talked about the farming, we've talked about the HEP, we've talked about tourism. Alright, and then historically, in terms of mining, alright, or quarrying, or resource use, okay, so we've got there were gold mines in the Alps, and I believe there were copper mines. Just double check on your case study, folks. Alright, so look at that sheet that Mrs. Rawlinson gave you. All the info's there. So copper mines, obviously there's logging from the trees. And that sort of links into picture C, particularly the mining and the quarrying. But if I was panicking and I couldn't remember about mining and quarrying, I'd say, oh, well, you know, picture C, here it is, look, shows, you know, the land and the resources in the Alps being used. So I'd go with that, alright, and talk about it. Obviously I'd make my point, I'd provide examples. So in terms of P would be like my tourism is my point, my E, my sort of examples would be, quote, numbers of tourists, locations, don't forget good old Chamonix, alright, what we learnt about in glaciation, alright, the Mer de Glace, alright, those of you going skiing, or if you've been skiing, you can quote your ski resorts. So my point, my evidence, and my sort of expansion there, alright, and then I link it back to, or linking it, that it was picture A, and this is how people use the Alps. Okay? Simple as that. Alright, it was a describe. It's an 8 marker. It's a lovely 8 marker. Alright, they've given you some resources to prompt you of how to structure your work. It couldn't be nicer, that one. Alright, so that is a really nice one that you can get your level 3 on. Alright, folks, so that's where we'll end it on that one. Okay, the 6 marker, the 8 marker. Alright, we've spent about 11 minutes there on those two, so that's, I know I haven't written out the full one there, but I've just talked you through how to tackle it. Okay, so next ones we'll start looking at ice and coast.